Salutations, one and all, and welcome to the Drop Dead Gorgeous Gallery. I am your host, Murky Monday, and allow me to be your guide in our latest exhibit. Ozzy Osbourne. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be working on the Prince of Darkness himself, the one and only, the incomparable, the man who scared the shit out of me when I was younger. Gee whiz, this dude, I heard so many scary things about him. You know, when I was younger, I remember hearing the songs of Black Sabbath, and it just did something to me like, I couldn't explain it. It was like listening to the soundtrack of a horror in my own head. And I was a young child when Black Sabbath came out in the 70s. And it was just one of those things where the way that music hit you and the way that his voice came creeping across the air to my ears, it still, I can think about it, sends shivers up my spine, just the way that was just, it just reaches in and grabs your creepy bone and it breaks that, like, you know what I'm saying? It just, Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne, the pinnacle, I think, really. Certainly, I would not give them the credit as being the inventors of heavy metal music, but I would say this. I would say this, that you from the time that Black Sabbath came on the picture, that right there was the line of demarcation of the existence of heavy metal music. Like before there was a Black Sabbath, it was just hard rock, like really hard. But then after a Black Sabbath, it was heavy metal, and then it would take a turn and go into different directions. Obviously, from this starting point, you know, it would, all different genres would be born from the blackened womb of Black Sabbath, right? But get this, then all of these years later, it would like come around to this thing called Ozfest, where now you have a group of musicians of all different types of metal music, of all different genres, coming together to celebrate what this man and what Black Sabbath brought to the music industry. I really can't even say or call myself like a fan of Black Sabbath or like a fan of Ozzy. It's like saying that I'm a fan of my friends. You know what I mean? You know, I like them, you know, and I'm not even gonna, that sounds a lot to say like Ozzy Osbourne's my friend. Man, that'd be great if that was the case. That's not the case at all. We've never met. I'm just saying that, you know, Ozzy has been such a part of my life. Like, he seems like someone that I know more from just who he is than from the music that he made. Like, he literally has two places in my life. Like, the music of Ozzy is different than the person of Ozzy. You know what I mean? I think maybe you can understand what I mean. And if you can understand what I mean, then you know how this was, I was going to do an Ozzy Osbourne painting even before I decided to do an Ace painting. When I decided to do this project, the Drop Dead Gorgeous Gallery, I had some ideas about how I wanted to do it. I made some arbitrary rules on how I want to do things, you know, because I'm an artist and I'm complicated, you know, but, you know, I wanted to do things in a certain way where I could enjoy the challenge of painting portraits and at the same time I can enjoy being, you know, a fucking monster, you know, myself, you know, and for me to have the best of both worlds in that place. And I wanted to do things artistically where, you know, I'd painted black and white pictures before, and I'd painted all kinds of stuff before, and you know, in this, I wanted it to be different. I wanted this to be that line of demarcation between what I had done and what I'm doing now. And I knew that in doing this, that I was going to do Ozzy Osbourne, because, you know, literally him just recently passing, that really affected me. Ace recently passed too, even more so recently. But, you know, when Ozzy died, it seemed like it shook the whole world. Sure, when Ace died, the world was shaken too. Not the two different things. But, you know, Ozzy, I think, is just, you know, certainly, you know, bigger than Ace. You know, we're not going to argue this. So yeah, it was like I knew I was going to paint Ozzy even before I knew I was going to paint Ace. I know who I'm going to paint next, and I know who I would like to paint next. You know, I would like to paint you. So, you know, if you feel like you'd be interested in being an exhibit in the Drop Dead Gorgeous Gallery, the number's here. You can just hit me up and we can figure out, you know, a great way to get you involved. I know that you have a face, and I know that you are beautiful, and that I know that I would enjoy the challenge of painting you. And I think that if you understand what it is that I'm doing here with the skull factor, what I'm trying to do is, in that, I'm just trying to touch on my fascination with Memento Mori, right? The fact that the Ars Effigies is the portrait art, right? And the Memento Mori is the art that is that place reminding us that we too shall pass, you know, that we are here for a good time and not a long time. And so that's what it is that I'm trying to sort of convey. The beauty of life is fleeting, right? And that beauty is beauty, and that we, and the truth of who we are, the ugliness of our humanity, goes all the way to the bone, you know? And it's a way of kind of art showing a sense of seeing the outside and the inside, to see both sides of the coin, to sort of see the entire being, right? And that's kind of the part that is, you know, something that I can't really stress enough, that I'm a human being, and I'm doing this by hand. You know, I'm not using AI to make this art. I'm not, you know, relying on, you know, technology to create this for me. I'm making this with my own hands and with my own brain. And it's not that I'm not using tools, because, you know, I'm an intelligent monkey. You know, I can use tools, and it's not that AI is a bad tool if you use it correctly. But, you know, AI can't do this. AI can't paint this painting. AI can't paint this painting the way that I paint this painting, you know. And so in this, it's really about HI, human intelligence, right? And HT, human talent, and HA, human ability, right? And that's really what it is. And it's not the challenge of human intelligence, right, to try and figure out how to make this work in this platform by myself, right, as opposed to AI trying to figure out how to make something work by stealing a whole bunch of other artists' work to try to make something happen, right? Really, I'm just taking this photograph and I'm just trying my best in my human filter, right, to replicate it and make a good image, something that's, I think, beautiful, and something that, you know, is worthy of being in the Drop Dead Gorgeous Gallery. I think there's no place where I couldn't think of this person, Ozzy Osbourne, wouldn't be in the Legends part of this fantastic gallery that I'm putting together, right? So that's pretty much it. You know, I thought to myself that I wanted to have certain rules and regulations. And, you know, the more I do this, the more I feel like, you know, I'm not going to hold myself to certain rules and regulations. I know that what I want to do is that I want to paint black and white artwork, and I want to paint it with a feeling of it being, you know, in the classic horror sense. And I know that it's going to be something that when the lights go out, that you'll be able to see the memento mori. You'll be able to see the skeleton or skull face of whoever it is that I'm painting, you know, and all kinds of people can be in this gallery. All kinds of people are worthy of being in this gallery. And that means that as an artist, I'm going to be a very busy person out here painting, trying to get all of these people that I think are legendary people in this gallery, and do it so that it makes it very entertaining for you. So like and subscribe, you know, do all those things that they tell you to do, hit the bell, all those things to get the notifications. I'm going to keep putting up videos. I'm going to keep painting, and I'm going to keep having fun and enjoying life while I got it, you know, and I encourage you to do the same. You know, we're here for a short time, so might as well be a good time. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying, you know, and I would like to acknowledge Ozzy Osbourne as being, you know, certainly one of the people who was an incredible influence on my life as a musician, besides being an artist. But, you know, yeah, certainly a legend, you know what I mean? Certainly someone who had a huge influence and impact on my life. And I would like to say rest in paradise, Ozzy, and you know, somewhere out there we are going to keep the crazy train off the rails, sir. We're not even gonna let the crazy train on the rails. Not at all. And then we're gonna all keep a little bit of paranoia, but you know, that sweet leaf, my friend, it'll keep us from going snowblind. Yeah. in the blizzard of Oz. Yeah. Thank you for watching. We're here. I show the Ars effigy and the memento mori. Yeah. That's what it's all about. To acknowledge the living and the dead, whether we're alive or dead. Yeah. Thank you. Rest in peace, Ozzy. 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 Thank you for your visit to the Drop Dead Gorgeous Gallery. We hope you enjoyed your time while you were here. We encourage you to come back with your earliest convenience. If you would like to be an exhibit in the gallery, contact us. Thank you.